You lot, I reckon you're hooked on the supernatural. My takes on Tartini and Paganini lit that fire, so let's crank it up with another infernal maestro, your own Franz Liszt. Feel the chill, an 1840s hall packed to bursting, tension like a storm about to break. Then he bursts in towering, hypnotic, mane-whipping wild. He crashes onto the stool, unleashes finger fury so savage notes explode like brimstone, ladies crumple in rapturous fits, gents gawk frozen, murmurs slashing the air, mortal or fiend. Did Lucifer craft those claws? That's the visceral slam of Liszt's spell, a primal rush that claws at your soul, muddling brilliance with the abyss, forcing the question, is this heaven-sent fire or a cunning bargain with shadows that still haunts every key he struck? Franz Liszt blasted into the world on October 1811 in the sleepy Hungarian village of Rading, back when it was Austrian Empire land, born to a family already buzzing with tunes. His father Adam was no slouch, a cello and piano ace who managed estates for the posh Esterházy clan, the same folks who bankrolled Haydn. Adam caught the spark in little Franz early. By 5, the boy was fiddling at keys. By 8, scratching out his own ditties. Dad dropped his job to steer the prodigy's path, scoring public spots at 9 in Sopron and Pressburg that charmed aristocrats into funding a Vienna education. They rolled into Vienna in 1821, where Franz honed piano under Carl Czerny, Beethoven's own student, and composition with Antonio Salieri, the guy tangled in Mozart legends. His 1822 debut had the place erupting, and word is Beethoven himself smooched the kid's brow, hailing him a prodigy. While other lads mucked about with games, Liszt was already chasing the spotlight, turning the piano into his sly conduit for enchantment. The clan bolted to Paris in 1823 hunting bigger thrills, but the Conservatoire slammed the door on him as a foreigner. Bureaucratic nonsense. Undeterred, he snagged private coaching from Anton Reicha and Ferdinando Paer, debuting in 1824 to wild cheers, then touring England and Switzerland, even tickling ivories for King George IV and cranking out his soul opera Don Sanche before hitting 14. Heartbreak hammered in 1827 with Adam's typhoid death, shoving 15-year-old Franz into breadwinner mode, grinding out Paris piano lessons for his mum. A dark spell followed. Sickness, shattered romance with a student sparking priesthood daydreams. But the 1830 July Revolution jolted him alive, spawning fiery revolutionary pieces. Mingling with Hector Berlioz, Frédéric Chopin, and especially Niccolò Paganini flipped everything. Paganini's violin sorcery, riddled with its own hell-packed gossip, drove Liszt to obsessive drills, reworking those caprices into ferocious piano etudes. He stopped merely playing. He dominated, digits flashing like hell's own bolts. And the allure? Lofty, sculpted, with a profile to rival gods. He'd woo audiences with hair flips and grins that thaw the iciest hots. By the 1830s, Liszt's European tours detonated him into pre-rock idol status, with Heinrich Heine branding the madness Lisztomania in 1844. Throngs besieged him. Women howled, collapsed, battled over his tossed gloves, tearing them to sacred scraps. One admirer salvaged his soggy cigar stub from a puddle, encasing it in a jeweled pendant. Fans scavenged his hair trims, busted strings, even tea leftovers. In Vienna, they lunged for his locks during shows. Rumors swirled. He must have bartered his soul like Paganini for that unearthly velocity, hand-stretching 12 notes, pulverizing instruments in the heat. But beneath the bedlam, Liszt's kindness gleamed. He funneled concert cash to orphans, rebuilt academies, rushed aid after the 1842 Hamburg blaze. He'd crack wise about the hype, yet quietly propped up pals like Richard Wagner, funding his escapes and staging his premieres. Devilish flair, absolutely, but laced with a hidden halo under the spectacle. His personal saga, a tempest fit for scandals. In 1833, he ignited a blistering romance with wedded author Countess Marie. She fled her husband. They shacked up in Geneva, popping out 3 kids, Blandine, Cosima, who later hitched Wagner sparking clan chaos, and Daniel. Their Italian wonders birthed Année de Pèlerinage, lush piano portraits of scenes and sentiments. By 1844, it frayed. They parted, Marie slashing him in a tell-all book. Then 1847 brought Princess Carolyne to Sayn-Wittgenstein, sparked at a Kiev gig. She dumped her royal spouse. They schemed a Rome wedding, only for papal scheming to torpedo it in 1861. Devastated, Liszt veered holy, joining Franciscans as a tertiary in 1857, nabbing minor orders in 1865 to become Abbé Liszt. He never fully quit the secular grind though, kept creating, dishing free lessons in Weimar, Budapest, Rome, to hordes of pupils like Hans von Bülow. From 1869, his trifurcated existence had him bouncing cities, always lavish with aid, but flashing that roguish spark blows landed heavy. Daniel gone young in 1859, Blandine in 1862, leaving Cosima as his enduring tie. As composer, Liszt revolutionized with over 700 works that shattered norms. He birthed the symphonic poem, single-movement orchestral yarns like Les Préludes or Mazeppa, ripped from Lord Byron's epics. His piano output scorched 19 Hungarian rhapsodies melding gypsy zest with showstopper tricks, transcendental etudes, the torture technique, the shadowy B minor sonata, packing form and feeling, infernal flavors, the Mephisto Waltzes, Faust-inspired cyclones like hellish revels, the Faust Symphony gripping Goethe's damnation yarn, echoing Berlioz's wicked Symphonie Fantastique, which Liszt adapted, his chords warped into the bizarre, teasing tomorrow's disharmony. Late stuff like Nuages' Gris ventured foggy avant-garde realms ahead of Claude Debussy. He repurposed Beethoven's symphonies and opera riffs, minting terms like transcription and reminiscence to spin others' gems into his own sly potions. In Weimar from 1848 to 1858, as court maestro, he championed the new German school, shoving forward-thinking sounds against stodgy naysayers. He unveiled Wagner's Lohengrin in 1850, harboring the outlaw, through Berlioz bashes. But pushback swelled, his boldness grated. He quit after a botched opera debut scandal. Shifting to Rome in 1861, he plunged into church music, crafting masses like the Hungarian coronation for Franz Joseph's 1867 enthronement. From 1875, he helmed Budapest's Royal Academy of Music, now stamped with his name, molding futures. His 70s brought health woes, swelling, wheezes, lung rot, but he pressed on, hitting Bayreuth for Wagner's 1886 fest, snagging a fatal cold, dying July 31st at 74. Interred there, his ripple? Colossal. He fused Beethoven's poise with Wagner's storm, invented the solo recital, morphed piano into orchestral fury, the otherworldly patina, from Paganini fixation to Mephisto jeers. Liszt dallied with gloom, folklore, peddling soul deals. Truth? Rubbish. Just toil and talent, though the legend sprinkles wicked zest. Diving deeper, Cosima's Wagner union wove Liszt into Bayreuth's dynasty. His gratis teaching flung doors wide for music hopefuls. Stories pile up mid-concert. He improvised around a snap string like a breeze. Bested rival Sigismond Thalberg in a keyboard showdown, crowd roaring his way. Raised cash for Beethoven statues, sheltered musician waifs. Leonard Bernstein once tagged him a real-life Faust, music his arena for inner fiends. In the Faust Symphony, Mephistopheles sneers via mangled motifs, mirroring Liszt's tussles with celebrities' lures. No actual bargain, myths busted as tall tales, but his shadow dancing creations. From the blazing Totentans to late pieces whispering woe, forge a yarn of zeal, generosity, and a dash of the unholy, where icons teeter on the brink of myth. And that is all for today's story. Do comment. See you next time.